My name is Gaynor Marsh. I'm a vision impaired person. I have always had low vision all my life, but 6 years ago I lost most of it considerably. I've got about 2% left, and I can see light and bright colours now, light perception. And I'm part of this walking group through Blind Sports Victoria, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
My name's Sandra Knight, and I'm the coordinator of the walking programs with Blind Sports Victoria. Blind Sports Victoria encourage people who are blind or vision impaired to get involved with sporting, whether it's in a group for vision impaired people or their local community groups. We got some funding from Parks Victoria, so the idea was to have group walks, and as part of that we decided to run a camp down at Wilsons Prom.
This came about as a result of us thinking of how we can actually further engage people who are blind or vision impaired, or getting them involved in parks. So going back over 12 months ago, I approached Blind Sports Victoria and explored with them how we can actually entice or encourage people to get involved in our parks. A number of people who are blind, vision impaired may live on their own, and they don't have a person who can see to actually take them to a park by transport, help them orientate around the park, learning their way around, learning what trails and other features of the parks that they can actually experience.
The fact that you have a vision impairment means, you're just isolated from people. You can't see people, you can't recognise anyone, so you're really counting on the generosity of other people.
To lose your sight, well, at first it was so traumatic, and I kept on saying, why did it have to happen to me, and why does this happen? I was so depressed. I became very depressed, and I wanted to give up, but fortunately with the help of Lola, to move, became more mobile. We move around, taking trains, the public transport, and got to know more about Melbourne than when I had my eyes.
I'm the only one that doesn't have any sight at all, and I'm the one that'll go to Bullard Gate. And I'm the one that's hit my head 3 times because I've walked into a wall. But that's fine, that's just part of me, part of what I do, part of the way I am.
There's not a lot of parks that have good public transport, and even if there is public transport to the parks, then there's the vastness of the park and how to find a way around the park, how to negotiate it safely, and also not to get lost. So with a group like this, we've got half volunteers and half vision impaired people. So there's a volunteer for each person, and there's no way people get lost. Also, they can relax. If you're using a cane or have a dog, it's not relaxing sometimes to go for a walk. You have to be concentrating about where you're going, and if you lose concentration, you get lost very quickly. So that's the idea behind these walks, is that people can relax, enjoy the environment.
Well, we're in a lodge for 12 people, and the accommodation is absolutely perfect. We've been climbing mountains and taking the arm of someone else and sliding down the other side. I've been to beaches, walking on beaches. We've had wombats up, backed off there. I think that wombat wanted to come into the lodge with us.
Our sighted guides have been describing the scenery as we walk along, the trees and the undergrowth, the ferns and things, and anything that we can touch. They've been letting us sort of feel the various leaves and the ferns and hollow trees particularly. We've even walked in one big hollow tree.
Sandy, the coordinator, actually came up with the whole plan of the program, and we looked at how we could assist them through interpretive talks and also some sensory trails that they might find enjoyable.
There's the front there.
That's the
and
front.
Feel that that's his teeth on the front there.
Oh, okay.
So they're similar to a kangaroo's, and that they'll keep growing, and as they wear down, I'm trying to find one that actually had a loose piece of tooth in it. But basically that tooth will just keep growing.
That tooth will just keep growing?
Yeah, as it wears down, that'll just keep growing. A bit like a rat's,
Right.
I suppose.
Yeah.
So this is our fox.
Oh, he's a beauty.
Yes.
I'm Andrew Crowther. I'm volunteering with Blind Sports, guiding some of the vision impaired people. I was looking around for some volunteer work, and lots of things out there, but then I saw this opportunity to go walking in the parks, and I couldn't resist. That's not work for me. From October to March. The other is hairpin.
Most of the volunteers ring up and want to volunteer for something, and then when we say we've got different programs, then they say, oh yeah, the walks sound good. So then we do some training with them about vision loss and the different types of vision impairments there are, how to guide someone who's got a vision impairment, and a little bit about good communication skills for people, because most of it's common sense, but there are some things that need to be sort of pointed out, and then they just come along and learn on the job, really.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What's that coming up? That's the new mangrove?
Plants coming up.
In the park you sort of have to be sure of the foliage that's overhead and what's stepping out from the side, so you're forever putting somebody behind you or saying duck your head. So it's not bad. The pathways are actually quite wide, but every now and again you get a slight narrowing, and you've got to be careful, and you've actually got to be watching where their foot's going all the time.
And you take more notice of the environment as well, because you're actually you're the eyes for the person for the visually impaired, so you're also describing the vegetation and the track, what's around, the view and scene that you can see in the distance. So you're seeing it in your eyes, but you're actually telling them what to see.
Well, I think they enjoy being in parks and stuff, and this is a way of giving back a little bit. They like to think that they can do something that they really enjoy and share it with people who can't do it on their own.
Also, it's an outing for me, so it's great, and it's good company. I enjoy it. I really do.
It feels like I'm actually achieving, helping somebody, letting them get out of their lounge rooms and getting out and enjoying what sighted people can enjoy.
And there's some of us that have never had sight, some of us have had sight in the past, and we can imagine the scenery around. I was an artist, I used to paint, so I can imagine all the scenery very well.
The birds, the sounds of the stream, close to nature. So it is so natural, everything. Some places is so quiet and really serene.
The smells are wonderful. I mean, even going along, and the smell is always changing. You're more aware. I think your senses are actually, and even your sense of touch, and I find I feel with my feet a lot.
Anyone that had any disability, give it a go. If you're blind and vision impaired, you can start slow and build up. And it's just great to be out in the country, learning about other parts of, learning all about Wilsons Prom. Also coming down, we've got the transport of the bus, and getting together, having fun, and give it a go, because really and truly you couldn't get anything better than being down here. I'd like to stay for a week.
Vision impairment is such a restriction on your life, or can be such a restriction on your life, that you've got to turn it around. You've got to turn around to a positive thing. And the fact of the matter is that there are some wonderful people who volunteer their time, and they become very good friends.
I think as a group everyone's really enjoyed it. They've bonded really well, and it's been a really great experience to be able to be out in nature and so close to it for the whole 3 days. So we've done bushwalks, we've done hills, we've done nice beach walks, and yesterday it was hot, so we actually got to go for a swim as well, so it was lovely.
This opportunity to come to Wilsons Promontory is just something that I haven't done. I haven't done anything like this since I found out I was legally blind 17 years ago. And swimming in the surf and that, I wouldn't be game to go in by myself.
And this has been a just absolute highlight of my life. It's a wonderful place. It's great to get out with people, friends, have plenty of activity, and life be in it, I suppose, is the motto, isn't it? Getting on with life and being fit, exercising, which is very hard for vision impaired people, because unless you can go with other people who can guide you, your walking is not really a good exercise, because you're walking either with a cane or a guide dog, and you can't really walk as well as you would normally.
The walks are great. The walks yesterday were really good. We went up a really steep hill and I thought at one stage, oh, can I make it? But we made it, and I love going downhill because that's the easy part. Walking along the beach last night was absolutely fantastic. We paddled in the water and we had a beautiful walk for about 5 k's. It was lovely.
So it's much more interesting than walking around the streets at home, I tell you.
We who are vision impaired actually see better than those with normal sight, because we can see the goodness of other people.